and gentlemen, let's go. Lifestyle, wellness, and a damn good time. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Hit it. You're listening to the Holistic Life Podcast, presented by Say What Radio.
What up? Welcome.
Hey, guys.
Hey, holla. The Holistic Life Show.
Jay, a.k.a. the Kahuna.
Jenny, a.k.a. Kine.
Yeah, that was whack. Let's scrap that. What up?
Wait, are we starting over?
No, we're going.
You said let's scrap that.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm so confused. Why do you do this?
Because it makes for a good show.
No, it doesn't.
It makes
People
for
are
an
like,
awesome
oh my
show.
God, they're crazy.
They keep on listening, don't they?
I guess. Word. Okay. So
Word. Fucking word. All right.
I'm still in the 90s. Sometimes.
Clearly.
Sometimes. All right. So, life of an entrepreneur. Look, I think that a lot of our chat today could easily apply to other aspects of life, but we're talking about entrepreneur life. So the thing is I feel like so many people are like what you see, right? You always see the glory. You never see the guts.
Or the story.
Or the story, yeah. So you see like all the glory, like, oh my God, we've got 5 million people and we made all this money and look at us traveling on the beach and we're awesome, right? You usually see all the like amazing sides of entrepreneurism and you're like, oh my God, I want to own my own business. I want to be my own boss. And look, I love both those aspects of entrepreneurism. But damn!
Oh, you're killing me today. All right. But damn! Okay.
We just want to talk a little bit about like behind the scenes, man. There's an aspect, this isn't even like a bash on entrepreneurism. It's just like, I like so many aspects of this.
Right.
But damn!
And the word for today.
Saucy.
No, that is not the word for today.
I know, I was calling back to Danielle's. What? Okay, go.
You were on a roll.
You were on a roll. You jumped
No.
into my role and then you kicked me out of my role.
You love certain aspects of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I mean, look, I love by far, especially where I'm at in life right now, like I love being my own boss because I can do whatever the F I want. Kind of. Kind of, because we still got deadlines and shit that we got to do. So, you're your own boss. But the thing is, look, we can wake up at what time we want to wake up. We can go to bed at what time we want to go to bed. And those things, I think that sometimes we crave like along the journey. And then for me, I always knew that that was just going to be part of my life. And even I did some of that even when I had a corporate job. Went to bed when I wanted, got up when I wanted.
Right.
Because the thing is like bottom line, it's like about getting the tasks done, whatever the tasks are, selling stuff, growing, whatever, right? So behind the scenes, man, building a product.
Oh, man. Building a good product.
A good product because we're digital entrepreneurs. And so we take and create content. We don't take content. I merged two ideas together. We create content. And we take information from our brains that we've worked with other people and tried and tested, and we put it together into a program or a resource with honestly like the end in mind. Like, how will our customers, how will our students react to this? Will it help them make the change? Which formats will help them make the change? Audio, video, worksheets, like there's a lot that goes into.
I think that's kind of on the back end though. Like, okay, once again, not generalizing. I'll speak for myself. When you first start creating, there's this kind of thing like, this is my baby. I think it should be done this way, or it will be well received if we do it this way. And then you put all this work into this thing and you put it out and nobody likes it because it's what you wanted to do. And you didn't take a pulse on your audience to see what they like or what they even need.
Right. Because it's really about solving a problem. It's not about, woo, look at me.
Right.
Look, there is an aspect of woohoo, look at me when you're kind of like the newbie on the block with your friends and family.
Definitely.
There's
okay.
No,
definitely.
okay.
Yeah.
So if I go back, 7 or 10 years when I very first started, I probably started before that, but I started my entrepreneurial journey and I published my book, Rock Your Lifestyle, for sure, because at that time, not as many people had their face on their banner, like on Facebook. That was kind of new. Like now, kind of everybody throws their face on the banner, like, look at me, I did this. But back then, it was like a big deal, right? When I published a book, just because people were like, wow, my friend wrote a book. I think a lot of people bought it
right
out of support and like, woo. And of course, it's a badass book, but it wasn't the point I was making. It's like, I was like, woohoo, look what I made. And people were like, oh my God, you're awesome. Because it was relatively like, not as many people were doing it.
Right.
Now it seems like everybody's an expert. You know, it's so easy with Canva and Adobe Spark and other tools to make some of these headers. Like I remember back in the day, it's not even that long ago.
You had to get a designer.
You had to get a designer, or like you used Fiverr and got some, maybe even like a really good, or you got like a really cheesy version of what you were doing.
You probably got a cheesy version. Like if you find a good Fiverr designer, you're lucky.
Yeah, you ain't paying Fiverr. You're paying 40 Fiverr more.
45, that's hot.
Look, this is what happens when you leave corporate America and you're anything like Jenny. You got great jokes. They're funny and they're weird, but you got them.
Continue.
I mean, that was the end of that point. The mic drop at 40 Fiverr.
I didn't read the room.
You should have.
Yeah, that's definitely an aspect. And I think one of the learning things for me is it's a pride and ego thing where you're like, oh, I have to do everything. I got to wear all that. It's kind of like a badge of honor. You know, I got to do all the hats. I got to wear all the hats. I'm the CEO. I'm the president. I'm the vice president. I'm the HR manager. I'm the delivery person. I'm the designer. I'm the bookkeeper. I'm all this because it's me. It's mine. It's a badge of honor. And it's like, yo, fuck that, man. Surround yourself with people who have the skills you're limited in. Like, focus on your strengths. And if they're strong in that area, let them focus on those strengths. And I thought this was cliche, but I honestly believe sometimes you do have to spend money to make money.
When he said find people who are better at things you're weak at, it definitely made me think of making a call out right now to Say What Radio.
Say what?
Radio. So, crack myself up today. But wanted to shout out because this podcast would not be possible without Say What Radio and the support and
Facts.
all of the expertise and everything that goes behind the creation.
Facts.
So thank you. And really that kind of takes me to like the next thought where it's like about leverage, right? Because I feel like what you were saying about ego, you know, it's like I have to be the one to do all the things, not just the things in the business with the titles, but also I have to physically be responsible for all the sales I bring in. But what about leverage? Hello.
Yo, leverage is a game changer right now.
Not right now, always.
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying game changer right now as in I didn't believe in that. Well, I don't want to say believe in that. It was like, yo, I want 100% of what I do. Like you were saying, like being a salesperson. Well, basically, like having something say, maybe it is affiliate marketing.
Yeah, I was like, where are you going? That's what I was thinking.
Affiliate marketing. Like with what we do with Kajabi. These programs are simple. So like you get somebody to sign up for their service and they break you off 30%.
Yeah, because it's like I couldn't have reached them on my own.
Right.
Maybe not. But why not? Right.
And 30% that's like 30% more than anything above zero is a win for me. So then it's like you're selling your thing. You're doing your thing. And then you happen to talk about this system that you're using to other entrepreneurs, not trying to sell them or whatever, but just like going to a good restaurant. Yo, I really like this restaurant. You should check it out if you like tacos. Popos. Holler at them. You know, Torchies if you're in Texas. You don't get anything off that, but think about what if you did. You talk about it because they have good service. And Kajabi, shout out Kajabi, for example, is like, you like our product, talk about our product. If you get somebody to sign on for our product, we're going to give you 30%. So look at that. You talk about their product, you're getting 30% of something like you really didn't have to work on by just talking about something, plus the 100% of whatever you're making from the things you're selling. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. And even like partnering with someone who they're like, okay, if you do X, Y, and Z, I'll give you 25%. Let's use me, for example. Background is wellness, as you guys know. Fitness, mainly, as you guys know. I don't want to program for people. I don't want to do it. Don't want to do it. Can I do it? Hell yeah. Can I do the shit out of it? Probably. Do I want to do it? No, I don't. Don't want to do it. So what I could do with one of our programs is reach out to some trainers and say, hey, look, you guys program. We're going to sell this on our site. You guys can have 75%. We'll keep 25. Why do I care about keeping 100% of that when that's more work for me that takes me away from creating the things that are going to keep us going instead of putting in some work on some stuff I don't really want to do to try to gain like 100%.
Right. And actually like spending the time, like you said, the things that'll keep us going, but the things that you actually enjoy as well.
Yeah, definitely that.
Because like Jay said, you're wearing all the hats, especially in the beginning. Now, granted, if you have a large budget that you came into business with and you're able, because like Jay said, sometimes you got to spend money to make money. So it really just depends. If you come in with a big budget into business and you can hire people because you can move pretty quickly, right? It's just like losing weight. If you are really serious and you want to follow everything like very to a T, you're going to get results faster than if you kind of change things slowly.
Right.
But then the other side of that, when it comes to fitness, I can always say this is like, okay, if you change everything and follow everything to a T, a lot of people bounce back. And that's why there's roller coaster results compared to if you make like what we believe is a long, sustainable, I don't like long, that sounded horrible, but just like a sustainable change over time is what I meant by that, where it's not like, oh my God, I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 10 days. You can do it. Have fun. But
you will fucking hate life.
Right? We were just talking with another entrepreneur about, like Whole30 and doing different cleanses and stuff. And she's like, shit, I've never done any of that because, I'm not looking to be hangry or mad or any of that crap.
She's like,
I'm good. I don't want to go through that.
Not going to work for me.
I was like, holy shit. I'll go through all that shit because I'm like, oh, no pain, no gain. I think my dad had a shirt like that growing up. It was like, no pain, no gain. I'm like, yeah. But anyways.
My dad had a shirt that said shit happens with a duck with his shorts around his ankles.
What?
Coolest shirt ever.
I'm trying to visualize this. You say he had a shirt that said shit happens and he had a pair of shorts around his ankles?
No. The shirt. So we'll get back to the conversation, guy. Quick segue. The shirt had a duck and I love this shirt. My mom hated it because it said shit on it and I was a kid. I love this fucking shirt. But it had shit happens over the shirt, right? And the duck was kind of behind the shirt with it like shrugging with his shorts around his ankles and the shit happens was covering his midsection. Okay.
That makes so much more sense than the original thing I heard / you said. I don't know.
No, my dad was not wearing a shirt without shorts on.
He had shorts around his ankles. And I was like, I mean, I know there's a style to wear your pants below your waistline, but ankles? Okay.
All right.
Anyways, so back to entrepreneurship.
We got this joint. Enjoy that.
Reel it in. Okay. Well, you know how to shut me up.
Continue.
Oh, you want me?
Yes.
You said, okay, you shut me up, and then you want me to talk again. Okay. So back to wearing all the hats and how if you have a big sum of money, you can kind of like do things a little bit differently. But what I'm going to talk about is our experience, right? So it's kind of like we definitely found, thank God, early on, profit first.
Right. That was a big deal. Go ahead.
And profit first, because there's so many entrepreneurs who start their businesses and they make no money for the first 1, 2, 3 years because they put it all back in the business. They never pay themselves. And I get that because sometimes that's what's needed.
Right.
But the idea of profit first is every dollar that comes in, you're going to allocate it accordingly to owner's comp and expenses and taxes and profit. So everything's got a certain percentage and that way you're covered.
Right.
And, tax season comes around and you're like, oh crap, I don't have any money. Right. And then you're always paying yourself out of your profits. So I bring that up because learning that early on and with cash flow and everything, like right now we're looking at lean, right? We're like, how can we be lean, but also how can we use tools to help us grow? So if we talk about like, okay, this past 5 months, it took us to build the Thrive Guide, which we just launched. Okay. Part of the reason why it took us 5 months is because we were going to launch a different version of it. And then when coronavirus hit, we were going to launch to business travelers specifically. And then all the business travelers were grounded. So we were like, and we had to like reshoot videos and remake all of our worksheets and redo a lot of it and reposition it. And now it's just for healthy living for basically busy professionals, people who are looking for change and want to get off that roller coaster. And this is totally like a DIY type of program that's going to help you make those shifts. Okay, so it took us 5 months, but also part of it is we decided to change our back-end systems that run the business.
In the middle of that.
Right, and you think like, oh, okay, it's no big deal. I'm going to change from this tool to WordPress.
Oh, that shit is a big fucking deal.
It's a lot, right? Because it's like learning a new system.
Oh, man.
And the reason I brought all this up is because we were totally going to like bootstrap, whatever, like, oh, let's save money because we were going to do WordPress because then you kind of have more control over everything. But we were going to do WordPress and then the tools we needed to create this, because it's all based on strategy. The strategy we picked is a certain strategy where it's a digital funnel and we needed certain tools to execute that funnel. And so to do those tools on WordPress are possible, but then it kind of just ended up being like trying to piece like 100 things together. And look, we're not looking to tinker. Some people love that and they're really good at it. We were like, oh my God, our brains were blowing up.
It's not that we don't mind tinkering, but it's like tinkering.
How many hours?
Yeah, when you're trying to put something together and you're trying to sell things, you really don't have time to tinker, especially when it's just like you and me.
Yeah, right. Because it's like what ended up coming full circle with it is we ended up spending a little more money because once again, it was about leverage to find a tool that could do a lot of things for us. And that was Kajabi, to where we could leverage all of that. And it also had like an easy button.
Shout out Kajabi once again.
So, okay, we just talked to our coach yesterday and she's like, there's different phases of business. There's building phase. We just finished the building phase. Now we're going into the selling phase because with finishing that product, what's great about the Thrive Guide is that it's ready to go. It's a digital product. So whether you buy it right now and you go to tujhala.com/Thrive Guide and you bought it right now, or you listen to this a year from now and you go there and you buy it, that's great. It's still there and it's still amazing and it's still ready for you. That is something that is what do they call an evergreen product, right? We can just have it out there as a tool to help people. Now, the next thing that we've been working on, and it's so exciting to kind of shift because this is actually something we've been working on for over 2 years, but like a concentrated effort for 2 years. We've been like testing it. And so Next Levolution is what we've been working on. Your turn. You talk.
I hate it when you do that.
Well, I hate when you just let me ramble on for hours.
You're not rambling. You were doing a good job. Go ahead.
Do you guys love this?
Yep, they sure do. Let's
totally.
Go.
Now we've been working on Next Levolution. Okay, so basically, if you have been wanting to make this change in your life for your wellness and you're sick of roller coastering, you're sick of like trying this and trying that and feeling like you don't have anything and geez, hello, right now on top of it, you're like, I need people. I need some kind of community.
I need people. Yeah, that's true.
Right? Like right now we're at home, like, I don't know. So Next Levolution is basically taking the Thrive Guide.
I need people off of Facebook.
Off of Facebook. Well, yes. So basically, it's like you can do Thrive Guide and get results. If you're like a totally DIY, but the thing is you might be like, oh my God, I need more accountability. I need more community. I need to go deeper. I really need to wrap my head around this for the long term because let's face it, we're busy.
Yeah.
And so Next Levolution is that program. So like we've been putting final tweaks on that. We're so excited because it's basically taking and ramping up everything that we're doing. And what Jay was saying, you want to tell them, because you were so excited to say, like, we are not on Facebook with our community. We took our community off Facebook.
I completely forgot I was going to say that. But yeah, especially with all the craziness that's going on right now and, you know, how opinionated and
negative and
distracting Facebook is. Sometimes you're like, yo, I'm in this mom ass group. Let me hop on Facebook, see what's popping. And you get on Facebook and you're like, holy shit. My cousin said this and his friend said this and then my mom said this and then my grandma. When did my grandma get a Facebook account? But now she's saying this and holy shit, I knew that person from high school and you completely forgot what you got on Facebook for. It's 3 hours later and you didn't even get to the community to figure out the thing you wanted to do. So we've kind of cut out the middleman and took it off of Facebook so you can just focus on
on you and your transformation.
Yeah, what she said.
And the community and connecting with the people. And what's cool is it's available via an app. So not only can you get the Thrive Guide on the app, you can also get the community on an app, the same app, they're side by side. So you can go straight in there. So like the behind the scenes of the entrepreneur is that
Power of leverage.
Yeah, you got the power of leverage. You've got the excitement of creation, the excitement of reaching out and changing lives, because they always say, right? Like if you've got this great dream, this idea, this solution that you offer, if you stay hidden, nobody knows about it, right? You're like, oh, please, please, Jesus, Buddha, God, whatever, like universe, whoever you pray to, please deliver me some people. But if you don't like go out there, then people won't come, right?
Right.
And so it's like, I don't know, I'm just excited. I'm so excited because I don't know, I feel like the whole world is about to like crack open for us. Okay, that's weird because of everything going on. But like, I'm excited because once again, if you've listened to our previous episodes, especially the last one about like things being overwhelming, it's really just about like, especially being an entrepreneur, because there's a lot of stress that comes with being an entrepreneur and you can like get pushed away from your goals, especially for health and wellness. So it's about staying in that like a more positive, higher vibration so that you can attract those amazing people and things to you.
You also got to pivot too. I feel that if you're just stuck where you are and not willing to change, like your career is going to be short-lived as an entrepreneur, because things are going to come up, and how you choose to react to those situations, I feel, is a giant reflection on your character, but it's also a reflection on how you're going to deal with business in the future.
Oh, that just gave me an idea. So if you're listening, you're just kind of like, you love us and you're listening, but you have a job. So one of the things that made me think of this when you just talked about that is from a career standpoint, it's possible that the way you were doing business prior is going to be different moving forward. Maybe you're working from home or maybe there's other factors, but it made me think of my former career in sales, because I definitely, like if I think about this, I'm like, man, I loved going out and seeing people in sales. I loved going to their office. I loved the in-person aspect of sales. And guess what? If you're a sales professional right now,
that shit's changed.
Oh, you're doing like me.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Good job. So it's not a good job thing. Anyways, so I just think because now you're online. You're selling online, you're connecting online, like everything you're doing, hopefully the energy behind it is still genuine and authentic and you're looking to connect with people and help solve their problems.
Right.
But the way that you're reaching out to them is totally different.
Right.
Or maybe you were doing some of the digital outreach, but now you got to do it like all the time because guess what? Your boss comes knocking because the funds are running out or they need, who knows, right? Things are different.
Mm-hmm.
They come knocking and like, what's your pipeline? You got to be able to show for it.
Right.
And I was just thinking to myself, because you talked about character, like I was like, man, if I was still in a sales role right now, I would be so resistant to like doing the online thing. Because I'm like, oh, I just don't want to do that. I like doing it my way. But the thing is, I'm not in that role. I probably would have adapted and just made it work. Because if I'm like plugged into something, I'm all in and I'm going to be like freaking water or Jello or whatever. And I'm going to like go where it goes. Let's go do this. I'm ready to do this shit. Now I want Jello. Can we get Jello?
No. No, we can't.
This is normal. Please?
No.
Oh, I'm going to buy it on my way home. Oh, he looks so disappointed. He looks so mad.
No Jello.
So I'm like Jello and I'm like water and I'll just ebb and flow.
I'm trying to think too, because it's easy to, I don't know, think you're not as far as you think you should be, if that makes sense. Because like we've been doing this for 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Right.
Been doing this for a little over 2 years. And of course, there's probably a lot of areas we wish was like further along, but it's only been 2 years.
But also too, think about that as well. It's only been 6 months of all-in effort because prior to that, it was on and off. There were certain things we showed up regularly with because we've been doing this show for a while because we did on Facebook before.
It's about 2 years.
Right. Show. And there's other things, but also when with a very demanding corporate job, I showed up very infrequently in the business. So since leaving in January, we're talking 6 months of effort, and geez, holy crap, like we've gone forward. And like opportunities keep coming up, and like our ahas and our clarity.
That's the point though. Not getting caught up in the time frame, because there's people who've been in business for 30 years, and like you can't just be like, oh, my business isn't going anywhere.
Well, it's about the self-worth, and it's also about believing and minimizing and or eliminating self-doubt.
All of the above.
Because self-doubt is by far the biggest dream robber out there.
Ooh, we didn't do this. I'm totally putting you on the spot because you usually take notes. And this is something you probably usually say before we do these shows and whatever. But let's give tips. Let's give some tips, some how-tos. We'll go back and forth. We'll see how this works.
It's a little test of our coffee with cream segment.
Yeah, just strap up, people.
I don't know.
We're going to ride. You need a squad.
What is it? Tips to being an entrepreneur?
Yes.
Like, tell me what the tips are for.
Tips to be a successful entrepreneur.
Is this like rapid fire? You're just going to say like a word? Tell me the rules.
We'll just go back and forth, not rapid fire.
Okay.
Just something that's impacted the way that we've done business.
Okay.
And we'll just kind of go back and forth.
Okay.
All right. So having a squad. Squad meaning people who are going to lift you up even on your down days where you're like, I don't know. Was this a good idea? Blah, blah, blah. You need your squad to come in and be like, hey, you're throwing yourself a pity party. We're not coming. Fuck that shit. Get up on your ass. You got so much worth. Let's do it.
Having a kick-ass brand identity, values, like what you stand for, and like standing tall in that. Shout out to Erica Powell and Company for making our logo.
Hey.
And yes.
Okay. Having a good mentor. Not like a million mentors. Having a good mentor, someone you can follow, someone who's going to stick with you and keep you on track and not kind of like keep on jumping back and forth with stuff.
Copywriting. Number one, by far, if you're going to be a digital entrepreneur, you need to, like right now, like yesterday, freaking learn how to write copywriting, writing like sales copy and all of that, because it makes a huge difference. But I will say that if you are not a digital entrepreneur, this will probably still help you, because you're talking about in the way that you communicate with people over emails, on your website, on your marketing materials. So there's a lot of different ways it can come in, but geez, it's so important for online entrepreneurs.
Let's see. Ooh, systems and technology, because there's so much stuff out there. We cannot tell you how many times we've switched systems, we've bought systems that didn't work for what we were trying to do. So trying to figure out what you want to do
and committing to it.
Yes. Figure out
like
what you want to do.
Even
like blueprinting, like brain dumping, like all that shit out. Your processes and everything. Even if you don't know, just the general ideas, get that out and start looking for softwares to do that. And if you're noticing you have to have 3, 4, 5 different things to make your thing work, kind of remodeling your thing to find like that 1 or 2 things that work.
Boundaries and mindset, because especially now working at home all the time, like our saving grace. Because remember when we were like fighting before? We weren't fighting.
I was going to say we were fighting.
Look, arguing, there was tension.
Okay.
We don't really fight, but like when there was tension and arguing, whatever, like there was tension, right?
We were disagreeing.
Yeah. So when we were walking like a couple months ago, and it was about like, oh, why aren't you working? Oh, you should work. Oh, we got to work. Oh my God, all weekend. And it was like, we were stressed because we had already done like 3 straight months of working on the Thrive Guide. And we were both like typed out to the max, but it was like, keep pushing. And then it was like a little bit of anger there. So I remember there was a distinct point where we were like, you know what? Fuck this. Like, we need our weekends. We need some days to unplug completely.
Right.
I know we have a lot to do, but we're just going to have to trust the process and take the 2 days off.
Which help.
And
extremely.
Stop at 6 or 7 o'clock.
Which helps extremely.
So that's where I say like boundaries and mindset, because you got to stick to them and you have to give yourself, it doesn't have to be a Saturday, Sunday, whatever works for your business.
Right.
Maybe it's 3 days, maybe it's 2, whatever.
Self-investment. Like, you gotta invest in yourself and finding a way to make that happen. Like, there's been times we've agreed on making a decision together where we were both like, yeah, we're all in. There's been other times where I've been like, and Jen's like, yes, let's do it. And there's other times where she's been like, and I've been like, yes, let's do it. But at the end of whatever, we've learned like so much. We've learned so much. So that's been super important. I strongly feel because we've invested in ourselves, that's part of the reason we are where we are today.
So final one for me, and if you have a final one.
This will be the last one.
Okay, so final one is wellness, is taking care of yourself, because it's super important to make sure you have the energy to get through all this, because building a business takes a lot of energy, and you have to get enough sleep and make sure you're fueling yourself and you're staying active. And that by far is a priority, because every time in business building or life where that has fallen out of priority for me, it's almost like once you kind of sleuth into the couch continues to like suck you in.
Sleuth into the couch.
Like, you know, it's like it continues to like be like, come back, eat cookies on me. Like it continues to like call your name. And that doesn't help you for business, because that leads to self-doubt, that leads to not getting things done, that leads to procrastination, that leads to so many things. So wellness, getting that under wraps and feeling really good and having the energy to be able to make it through these days, because it is so much.
Right.
And so that, you know, the cops don't have to come pick you up.
That was an ambulance.
That was an ambulance. We know the difference now. Thank you, protests. Fire truck. Yeah. Fire truck. I was like, fire truck. How about that episode where it was just completely quiet? Like when there was noise, we listened back to all of our episodes and then it was like, kaboom, kaboom. You probably couldn't hear it, but then it was silence. And then we were like, hold on, be right back. I was like, wait, are they still there? All right, guys. So if you're on your journey or you're just starting or you think about starting, you know, here's some great tips. Or heck, if you're further than us, reach out and let us know your favorite tips.
Yeah, what's worked for you? Yeah.
Some of your behind the scenes. All right, guys. Have an amazing week. You just turned into a lizard or something? What was that? Seriously, y'all can't wait until we get some video on this.
Oh, shit, man.
And of course, as always, let us know if there's anything else. Like, subscribe, share. We love you. Talk to you soon.
Aloha.
Mahala.
You can subscribe to the Holistic Life Podcast from your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to check out 2jholla.com to stay in the know as an official 2JH insider. Mahalo for tuning in. And until next time, that's our show.